In this video, I'll give you a note-by-note tutorial of my easy piano version of Ave Maria by Schubert. Hi everyone, welcome to the Piano Keys. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marina and I'm your best piano playing friend. I create tools you can use to reach your piano goals. A couple of years ago, I made an easy piano version of Schubert's Ave Maria, and recently one of my viewers requested a full tutorial of this piece, and she sent in a very generous donation to help cover the costs of making this video. Thank you so much, generous viewer. It's quite a long video because I go into a lot of detail, so I suggest that you take small sections, practice them until you can play them fairly well, and then move on. This is really the fastest, best way to learn to play a piece. If you want to see a performance of this piece, you can find the link to that below this video, as well as the sheet music. Now, you don't need the sheet music to follow the tutorial. However, if you have the sheet music, it's a lot easier to organize your thoughts and to keep track of where you are in the piece. Even if you don't know how to read sheet music, you can still use the sheet music like a map and take notes on it, write things to help you remember where you are, that sort of thing. So that link is also below. In this video, I give you lots of tips on how to practice in order to learn well and as fast as possible without trying to cut corners. Cutting corners when you're learning to play a piece or even learning to play the piano is really not a good way to go, because there are certain things that you have to know. So I tell you what to look for in this piece as I'm doing the tutorial to help you organize the music in your head and help you learn it faster and more securely. All right, let's get going. We're going to start with the intro, left hand, and this is going to be so much fun and so easy because all you do is play an octave G. So here's middle C. We go down to the G right below it and add the G below that. And you play that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And if you're looking at the sheet music, this would be the first 2 lines of music, the first 2 systems. So we're in count of 3, 3, 4. Basically, we do it like this. 1, 2, 3, and then we alternate playing with not playing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You just repeat that cycle of playing for 3 counts and then not playing for 3 counts, letting your hand come up from the piano. You repeat that 8 times. So let's do it together. Find your octave G's. I'll count 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now lift. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Lift. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Lift. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Lift. 2, 3. We've got 4 more. 1, 2, 3. Lift. 2, 3. 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 That is the left hand. If you hear snoring, it's not me. I'm not falling asleep. It's my little dog, Elvis. He likes to supervise me when I'm working, and then he falls asleep. All right, that's the left hand. Practice it on your own, and then move on to the right hand when you're ready. The right hand plays a series of arpeggios. So we start on the first finger on D. Don't worry about the counting right now. I'll just show you where the notes are, and then we'll talk about when they happen, okay? So you start with the D, first finger, and you notice your third finger is already kind of above G. You're going to go ahead and play it, G. And you notice that your fifth finger is above B, so you're going to play that. And then you walk back the same way you came, G, D. This is a G major triad, but it's in second inversion. If you want to learn about triads, you can check out my book, Piano Chords for Everyone. I'll link it below. Super low cost, and it really helps you understand chords. And when you understand chords, you're better able to learn your music, memorize it, and all that stuff. So you're not just memorizing notes, you're actually figuring out what's going on. So this is a G major triad, and we're just going to play it one note at a time. Going up, and then right back down. Okay? Then you do that again. So if you're looking at the music, we've just covered the first 4 measures. And if you are looking at the music, you see that measures 1 and 3 have a rest on beat 1. So this is how we would count it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So pause the video here and practice that much on your own. It's really much more effective to learn tiny chunks and review them a few times over. I recommend that you do them 3 times before moving on. 3 good times, not 3 times with mistakes. Because in this way, when you feed your brain small chunks of information, it's able to handle it much better than trying to learn a whole lot at once. You're actually not saving time if you try to do that. All right, so pause here and practice that much. Now that you're back, we were here. The last thing we played was that D. Now we're gonna play a G chord again, except this time the low note is gonna be G here. See? Same 3 notes, D, G, B. Now they're in the order of G, B, D. G chord, okay? So the fingering pattern is the same. You play finger 1, 3, 5, and then come on back. All right? So same chord we just played, but the notes are in a different order. G, B, D, B, G. The next thing we do is we take the thumb and put it on B. And just want to go back here. You see how the shape is of this chord? We play a white key, we skip a white key, play a white key, skip a white key, play a white key. All right, you're going to keep that same shape, but put it on B this time. All right, this is called a B diminished chord. You don't have to remember that, but it really helps to know what you're playing. So now you're going to play 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Notice the fingering pattern has been the same all the way through. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. So B, D, F, D, B. Let's practice this. If you're looking at the sheet music, we're doing measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. So G, B, D, B, G. Ready? Here we go. G, B, D, B, G. Now, see where that B is? Pick up your hand and put your thumb there. We're going to play that same pattern. B, D, F, D, B. You'll hear me say the word pattern a lot in this tutorial. It's because there are so many patterns in music, and if we can find them and use them to our advantage, we'll learn a lot faster, saving ourselves time. Okay, so the way we count it is this. On beat 1, we've got a rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we pick up and do the same rhythmic pattern. Beat 1 is a rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right? So pause here and practice these 4 measures, or these 2 chunks of music in this position and this position. And when you come back, we're going to do it from the beginning of the introduction here. So remember, we started on a G chord in second inversion. That means the D's on the bottom. All right, let's play together. Ready, set, and 1 is a rest. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now pick up and move your thumb to G. 1 is a rest. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pick up your thumb and move it to B. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pause here and practice that, so that you can practice it with me and then practice it on your own so you know what you're doing, okay? Now we're moving on, and the next chord, we were here, first finger is on B. We're going to move that first finger to G, and now, remember how we were doing white key, skip a white key, skip a white key. Okay, now we're going to change that pattern. So now we're playing a C major triad, C, E, G, with the G on the bottom. Okay, the rhythmic pattern is the same, and so is the fingering pattern. See, 1, 3, 5. All right, so we take a rest on beat 1, 1, play a G, then the C, then E, and walk it back, same way you came. That is also a pattern. So meaning that the same notes you play going up are the ones that you play coming down. That's a pattern so far, right? Let's see that again. 1, G, C, E, C, G. From here, you're going to move to a different chord. Now, this is the first time we're playing black keys here. Here's how I want you to think about it. The third finger is staying right where it is. The other two fingers are going to move down to the black keys. Remember, down on the piano is the left. So you were here. Don't think about finding 3 brand new notes. I mean, you can, but that's the long way around. The way I would think about it is my third finger staying where it is. My first and fifth finger are moving down to the nearest black key. See that? So you play F sharp, C, E flat, C, F sharp. Again, our fingering pattern is the same, our rhythmic pattern is the same, and so is the thing that where we go up 3 notes and then we come right back down on the same notes. So let's play that new section we just learned. So starting on the C chord with G on the bottom. Ready? So on beat 1, we're going to take a rest and then keep going. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now keep your third finger where it is. Move the other 2 down to the black keys. On beat 1, we don't play. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Practice that. Pause the video and then come back. Now, we're almost to the end of the introduction. And here we're going to play something that we already know, which is this G chord. We practiced it in the second part of this intro. So, same thing. You take a rest on beat 1, and then you keep going. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Look familiar? Yeah. And then you're going to pick up and move your thumb to D, and this is the first thing that we played in the intro. We're just going to play it here again. D, G, B, G, D. So in this part of the introduction, there's nothing new. We're just rehashing what we already know, which is the G chord starting on G with the first finger, and then the same G chord, but now the first finger is on D. So let's play this last section with counting. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now pick up and move. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Pause here and practice that. Now, if you already know that, we're going to take it to the halfway point of the intro to this guy. If you're looking at the music, we're starting on measure 9, which is the second line of music, the second system. Here we go. It's a C chord with the G on the bottom. Ready, set, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now keep your third finger where it is. Move the other guys to the black keys. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. From here, find your G triad. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then bring first finger down to D is the very first thing that we learned. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the introduction. Now, I'm going to play the whole thing with no talking and just counting. So when you're ready to play with me, you can watch this and then play it with me here. All right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Repeat that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, if you have the sheet music, it's a lot easier to keep track of where we are. Even if you don't know how to read music very well, or even at all, you can still see the sheet music as pictures, right? And start to associate the picture you see with what you're playing here. That's all it really is. You know, sheet music or music notation is just a picture of the sound. All right. We'll get right back to the tutorial in just a minute. If you're looking for a really unique and elegant gift for a wedding or an anniversary or a birthday, check out my partner Under Lucky Stars. They create star maps of constellations in the sky in particular places and on dates and times. So you go on their website, you choose a date, a time, and a place, and you'll see what the constellation of the stars was at that time and place. You can choose the background, the shape around your constellation. You can write a special message or a date, whatever you choose. And you can have it shipped anywhere you like, fully framed and matted. And if you use my link below this video, you'll also get a 10% discount off the already very reasonable price. Go check them out. The link is below this video. We're going to put the hands together. Now, remember, every time when the right hand did not play on beat 1, okay, that's when the left hand is going to play. Here's what I mean. So remember, on the first measure, we did 1, 2, 3. So now on the 1, the left hand's going to play and hold like this. You play the left hand, hold it down, then the right hand plays. And then for the next measure of music, the left hand lifts. Okay, let's try that together. So play the left hand, hold it down, the right hand plays. Now, when you play your pinky, your left wrist comes up. Be careful that you don't play it like this, okay? Don't do this. Do not. This is how not to do it. Right? So when I say pick up, you don't want to panic and you just want to imagine there's a puff of air that's lifting you from here, from the wrist. Okay? Especially for a piece like this that is so lyrical, the way that you move your arms is really going to determine the sound that you get from the piano. So every movement you make here, you want it to be very gentle and nothing sudden, everything just kind of flowy. That's really going to help you get the sound and the spirit of this song. So we're going to play the whole thing because now that you understand the pattern, which is the left hand plays on beat 1 when the right hand's not playing, and then lifts when the right hand plays the pinky, it's all basically just the same thing with different notes. So I'll play it for you, and you can watch it as many times as you want and then put it together. I'm not going to say anything so you can really see and hear. And you notice when the left hand plays, the right hand lifts. Left hand plays, right hand lifts. So lots of patterns of movements and fingering and rhythms and things like that. When you're ready, you can add the pedal. I recommend that you don't add the pedal until you really know what you're doing here. You're not scrambling. Because the pedal, even though it's not difficult, it's adding another thing to be in charge of, right? So make sure that you've got the hands learned really well before you add the pedal. So pedaling is also a pattern here in the intro. Every time you play, by the way, if you're not sure about pedaling, I do have a pedaling tutorial. I will link it below, and then I have an entire course designed to get you to be a whiz at the pedal, so you never have to really battle it again, okay? But watch the tutorial first. That might do it for you. And if you watch the tutorial and it's still not clear, then check out the course. I will link that also below, Piano Pedaling Like a Pro. All right, so basically you put down the pedal when you play the first left hand octave, and you hold it down. Now, when you play the next octave, you play first, and then your foot goes up, down. You gotta play first. Now you're holding the pedal. You're gonna play here, up, down. See how I'm saying up, down really fast? That's the, here, up, down. That's how fast your foot has to move, up, down, like that. Okay? And you just keep continuing, up, down. Every time you play the octave in the left hand, that's when you change the pedal. Up, down. Change the pedal means you pick it up and put it back down again. Also called clearing the pedal. Up, down. Up, down. All right, so because we've learned by understanding what patterns are happening and not just by memorizing notes, you're going to see that you actually learn it faster and you retain the information longer. And so nobody is really a fan of practicing. Practicing is just, it's the price you pay for being able to play a piece of music. And so you want to make your practicing as productive as possible. Spending hours practicing, if it's not providing results that you want, isn't fun, right? So I wrote a book telling you everything you need to know about practicing piano called Practice Makes Permanent. I'm also linking that below so that you have all the tools that you need for success. Now the song starts, and remember in the intro, the right hand was pretty active and the left hand was static. So now we're going to change roles. The left hand's going to be playing the arpeggios because the right hand is going to be in charge of the melody. So let's take a look at that left hand. We're starting with a G chord again. Look, G, B, D. All right, so let's take the notes apart. We're going to do fingers 5, 3, 2. And then we're going to repeat that G on top, still part of the chord, and then we're going to walk it back the same way we came. See? So it looks like this. G, B, D, high G, and then back D, B. So it's just a G chord with the G repeated on top. We go up and then back down, stopping at B. Let's do that together. Here we go. G, B, D, G, D, B. All right, if you need to pause at any point and practice, go for it. I don't know how fast you learn, so I'm just presenting the material and you have the luxury of being able to pause and go back and all that, okay? Now, the next thing we're doing, if you're looking at the music, we are now on measure 19. We moved the 5th finger down to E, and we're going to use the same fingering that we just used with 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now E, 3rd finger on B, 2nd finger on C sharp. I'm not going to name this chord because it's a 7th chord and I don't really want to get into a tutorial about chords. If it's a triad, meaning it has 3 notes, I'll go ahead and tell you what it is, but I'm not going to name the other ones. So E, B, C sharp. Now up top, remember how we played G before? We're going to play it again. G. And then walk back the same way we came. C sharp, B. So in the first chord, we stopped our downward motion on B. We're going to do the same thing on this chord, stopping on B. So let's do that again. E, B, C sharp, G, C sharp, B. Okay? Again, pause and practice if you need to, and you probably will. So go for it. Now we're going to play a G chord again, but this time the D's on the bottom. So the G chord has 3 notes, G, B, D. Doesn't matter what order you play them in, it's still a G chord. So now the D's on in the bottom, and we're going to use the same fingering. 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So D, G, B, D, B, G. Again, we're going back the same way that we came, right? D, G, B, D, B, and G. Pause and practice, okay? The next section, we have D again on the bottom. It is no longer a G chord. I'm not going to name it right now. So it's D, A. Now, don't be afraid of this stretch. See, you don't want to be like this on top of the piano. Unless you have very long fingers, this might be very easy for you. For me, because I have small hands, I tilt my wrist that way so that I can reach this A without a struggle. If I tried to do it like this, I would produce a lot of tension, and tension is our enemy, right? We don't want tension. So here, I kind of lean my hand this way. See? It's kind of sideways, isn't it? And I just reach over. Now it's easy. So if you have trouble doing this, it's not you. You probably have smaller hands. So do that. Okay? There we go. D, A, now C, D on top, and walk it back the same way that you came. All right, let's do that one again. D, A, C, D, C, A. So far, we have gotten to 17, let's see, what is it? Measure 24. All right, so practice these 8 measures that you've learned so far. We've got several more to go in this section. I'll play what we've learned so far so that you can recap it for yourself. I'm starting on measure 17, and I'll say the note names. G, B, D, G, D, B. Now move to E, E. Notice the third finger is still on B, like it was in the previous chord. B, C sharp, G, C sharp, B. Now move to D, G, B, D, B, G. We still have D on the bottom. D, A, C, D, C, A. Don't worry, I know it's a lot, but we're going to use these same chords again later in this piece. So learn these positions because they're going to become very familiar for you as we use them over and over. When you can play that, move on. I'm going to move to measure 25 next. All right, so we were in this position, right? We played A. Now, 5th finger goes to E. 3rd finger on B. 2nd on E. This is called an E minor chord, by the way, E minor triad, E, G, B. Again, does not matter what order you have those notes, okay? So here we go. E, B, E, now G, and then walk back the way you came. E, B. And you get to do that again. Here we go. E, B, E, G, E, B. So 2 times through. And again, if this is hard for you, like it is for me physically, you just rotate your forearm this way. Do that. Perfectly acceptable, okay? When you can play that, move on. We're almost at the end of this section. So we left off on B. We're going to move down to low C, 5th finger. Here, we're changing our fingering pattern for the first time. We've been doing 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? Now we're going to do 5, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4. So this is an A minor triad, A, C, E. Those are the notes we're working with the C on the bottom. C. Now, 4th finger on E. second on A. Top note is C, and then you walk back the same way you came. So we're using that fourth finger. Do not be afraid of using your fourth finger. I know it feels weaker than the others. It is. But the more you use it, the stronger it gets, and the more you're able to control it, okay? From here, we go to D. Now, we've done this chord before. It's the same one we did in measures 23 and 24. This one. D, A, C, D, C, A. I hope you remember that one, okay? So, I'll play these last 8 measures so you can see how they look together. I'm starting on measure 25. E, B, E, G, E, B, and I play that again. Now we're going to play that A minor triad, but the C is on the bottom. So C, here's our fourth finger, E. And then we've got that chord from before that we already know. We've practiced it. D, A, C, D, C, A. And we've got just one more chord. It's the same one that we played in the very beginning of this section. G, B, D, G, D, B. That looks familiar, right? So, pause. Practice the sections that you need to. Again, if you have the music, you can see which ones are the same and you can kind of circle them. If you have my book, Practice Makes Permanent, I tell you exactly how to look at a piece of music so that you start to find the patterns and really shorten your learning curve. I'm going to play the entire section 2 without talking. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so practice this as much as you need to. Remember, you're not going to learn it in a day or one session, maybe not even in a week. The important thing is that you're learning and you're practicing and enjoying it, okay? There's no hurry to learn anything. Now the right hand is a whole lot simpler than the left hand. We start with third finger on G and we hold it for a while, okay? And then second finger on F sharp, back to the G that you started with. So AVE MARIA, that's where we are, right? Now fifth finger on B, and you hold it even longer than you held the G. Don't worry, we'll talk about how long. And then step down, A, G. So this is what it looks like. G, don't worry about the rhythm. F sharp, G, B, A, G, right? Ave Maria. That's where we are. All right. Now, how long does it last? Well, I can count it for you. But we can also talk about how it fits with the left hand. But you should know the counting. So it basically goes like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you see we held that for 3 counts of 3. Then we go to the F sharp and we count 1, 2. On beat 3 we go to the G. And then B. Now listen to this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So it's 3 counts of 3 plus 2 counts, 1, 2, and then on beat 3 you go to fourth finger A, and then you go back to your G and you hold it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's play that. When you're ready to play it with me, let's play it with counting. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Very simple, right? Okay, the next part we're still in section 2 here, but the next part, fourth finger on A. Then from here, you're going to go up to B. You're not really changing your hand position at all. We're still in one position. Go to B, and then back to your A. Back to the G where we started. F sharp, E. I want to pause here and just show you all we did was play from B, A, G, F sharp, E. We're just going right down in the hand position that we've got, with F sharp being the only black key, right? So we started on A. Now go to B, and you're just going to step it all the way down to your first finger. B, A, G, F, sharp, E. And then you walk it back the same way you came, F sharp, G. That's where we are, right? The way we count it is this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. These are quick notes. 3 and 1. 3 and 1, right? Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you have the sheet music, it's a lot easier to follow. Okay. When you've got the entire right hand learned, come back. We're going to put the hands together. All right, no pedal just yet. So hands play together, and then remember the right hand holds for a long time. Okay, so hands together. Now right hand just stays right where it is, like it's sitting down. Left hand does its thing. Now hands together, right here. Right hand holds, left hand plays, and then they both play together. Then both hands play together, and the right hand holds again for a really long time while the left hand goes on. Here we go, hands together. And then hands together again, right hand holds. Left hand is going to repeat that, the right hand's going to lift. Let's play that much again before we move on, all right? I won't talk so you can really see what's happening. Sorry about that. So we're playing very slow, and that's why the right hand, is holding so long. Okay, now moving on, the hands play together. Right hand holds while the left hand plays. Now here is where we play those quick notes in the right hand. So you do hands together here, then right, then together. going to do that part again. Together, left. Now, together, right, together. Okay, left, together. Together, left, together, together, and the right hand holds. Okay, I'll play it from here without talking. All right, once you've got that, come back. I'm going to show you the pedaling. The pedaling is very easy because we're using the same pattern that we used in the introduction, which is every time that the pinky plays, you go up, down with your foot. Imagine that's my foot. You go up, down, right? But you don't want to slap. You don't want to slap, so you want to keep your foot on the pedal. If you watch my pedaling tutorial here on my channel, which is linked below, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so I had the pedal, try that again. I had the pedal down already from the intro where I was playing this. So the pedal's down. As soon as I play, I'm going to pick up and change the pedal. Up, down. Here's the pinky, that means up, down. Change. 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 So the pedal is tied in with the left hand fifth finger. Except here, we're not going to change because we have the same chord. Okay, so if you're looking at the music on measure 25, we changed here. And I'm just going to hold the pedal while I lift the right hand. Because the chord is the same. Now, change. 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 The last thing we played in part 2 was the G major arpeggio or broken chord. Okay, we're going to do the same exact thing in the beginning of part 3. So just play the G chord the same way you did before. Okay? Now, you're going to play the same exact thing except for one difference. Instead of playing second finger on D, you're going to put that second finger on D sharp. Okay, so G, B, D sharp, G, and then come right back the way you came. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to play the bottom two notes the same, G, B, and now the second finger will move to E. Okay, so just to recap, so far we've done 3 chords and every time the bottom 2 notes have been G and B. So in this section we started with G, B, D, okay, then we did the bottom 2 notes the same, and by the way the top note is also the same. Then we just changed one note, we took that second finger to D sharp, and then kept the G on top, walk back the way you came. Now we're going to keep those bottom 2 notes the same again, and the second finger goes to E, and the top note is still G. So you see, and you walk back the way you came. So you see we're thinking like in patterns instead of just trying to memorize one note at a time. Okay? Moving on. Now, here we change the chord. So fifth finger moves down to F sharp, third finger to C sharp, second finger to E, and that top note is still G. Come back the way you came. Then you play that same thing on the bottom, F sharp, C sharp, E. Now the top note changes to F sharp, and you go back the way you came. All right, So I'll play these last few measures, or these last few arpeggiated chords, so you can see the evolution of how we're moving from one chord to the next. So we're starting on, if you're looking at the music, I'm starting on measure 35, okay? So first thing I play is a broken G major chord. And my fingering is the same all the way through, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now I play the same chord, but I move that second finger to D sharp. Same chord, but I move the second finger to E. Now, the bottom two notes are going to change. F sharp, C sharp. The top two notes stay the same. Back the way you came. Bottom two notes stay the same. E, F sharp on top. Okay? And when I say same chord, obviously it's not the same chord. What I mean to say is like same kind of structure that we're playing. I'm not going to name every chord here because this is not a chord tutorial. If you want to learn about chords, you can get my book, Piano Chords for Everyone, which is linked below this video. So what I mean is like you're kind of in the same area, you're changing one note at a time or two notes, that sort of thing, okay? Clearly, they're not all the same chords. All right, now we are on measure, let's see, 41, 42, 43. We're on measure 45. Now things take a turn for much different, okay? So the last thing we played that was at C sharp. Now pick up your fifth finger down to low D sharp here. We're still using the same fingers, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Then third finger on A, second on C, F sharp on top. Okay, then you do that again, same exact thing. And then here we are at the end of this section. We're going to take the fifth finger to E. Now I have a different fingering. Of course, you can always use whatever fingering works for you. I'm just showing you what works for me, one possible fingering out of many. Okay, so fourth finger on G, second on B, first on E, and come right back the way you came. So let's take it back to measure 42, starting at F sharp. Here we go. F sharp, C sharp. Sorry, I said 42. I meant 43. Measure 43. F sharp, C sharp, E, F sharp, and go back the same way you came. Now we're going to go down to that D sharp. A, C, F sharp, C, A. You do that again. And here we have the E minor triad. E, fourth finger on G, second on B, top note is E, back down the way you came. All right, pause wherever you need to. As I've said before, practice what you need to practice. I'm going to play the entire section 3 of the left hand, and I won't say anything at all. I've already talked about it. Now you can just kind of watch and follow along, or take notes, whatever you need to do. Remember, we all learn differently, right? So whatever works for you, use that. If it doesn't work for you, then you need to find a different way of practicing. Make sure you join my Facebook group. You can talk about it there or ask me a question below. All right, here we go. Starting on G. You might notice that sometimes I'm connecting one chord to the next, sometimes I'm picking up. You can pick up whenever you want, where the pedal is basically going to take care of that for you. So don't struggle trying to connect things that aren't connectable for you, okay? Pick up wherever you need to. All right. Now the right hand, we ended on G in the previous section. We're going to stay in that same area of the piano, play the fifth finger on B. So 2 times. Now from here, you're going to step down to F sharp. So A, G, F sharp, and then go 1 more to E. You see we didn't move our hand. I didn't move my hand anywhere. I just played the notes going down, remembering to play the F sharp instead of the F. Everything else is a white key. So we did 2 Bs, and then we're going to step down, remembering our F sharp, all the way to E. Okay? Now, pick up your hand if you want, put your 4th finger on B, and then 5th finger on C sharp, and back to your B. Then A sharp with your 3rd finger, it's right there. Okay? Now, you can use 1st finger here. Some people think you're not supposed to use your thumb on black keys. I don't hold that opinion, so it's perfectly fine to play F sharp with the 1st finger, and then A. Now, if that's really hard for you, you can do 2nd finger too. It's fine. Okay? Then from the A, we go to G, and then F sharp. Now, A, 3rd finger, 4th finger B, 5th finger C, and then go back to your A and your F sharp. We're almost there, don't worry. And then G. All right, so I'll play that whole thing without talking, then we'll talk about the rhythm. So I'm just right now showing you where the notes are, okay? So let's talk about the rhythm. We have a lot of notes here that are going to be held for many beats. For example, the first B is pretty short, but the second B is long. We hold that one for 5 counts. You'll see how it fits in with the left hand. You don't have to memorize this part. But I'm going to go ahead and play it and count it for you so you can have some context about where these notes actually happen. But again, when we put it together with the left hand, it'll be really obvious, okay? So I'm going to start on beat 3. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so clearly I'm playing very, very slow, and that's why the notes are being held even longer than you would expect them to. But when you practice, you definitely want to practice slowly. Okay, that gives you a chance to think about what you're playing, to prevent making mistakes that then you have to go back and fix later on. When you practice slowly, you also help yourself if you know how to use good technique. You know how to use, you will use good technique if you're playing slowly. If you're playing too fast for what you're able to do right now, you're liable to cut corners with your technique and then start to have places where you're tense when you shouldn't be. All right, when you've got each hand learned, come back, we're going to put the hands together. Left hand starts by itself. Now, here we go, hands together. Now the right hand holds, left hand plays. Here we go. We're going to play together, then right, then together. So you see here, you play together, then the right hand goes. Now together, right hand holds, together, right hand holds. Now together, hold the right hand. Now together. Hold the right hand. Together. Now all of these notes are going to be together. And the left hand continues. Okay, and then the next section starts here. So I'll play this whole thing without talking, a little bit faster, hands together, so it'll be easier to keep track of what's happening where. And you can pause whenever you need to and slow it down. You can watch the video at 75%, 75% speed, if there's something that you're not catching. All right, so I'm going to start at the beginning of section 3. Once you have that, we'll go ahead and add the pedal. So you were holding the pedal from the previous section. You're not going to change it here. Here you will change. Change right there. Change. Change. You see I'm changing the pedal every time I play the left hand 5th finger. Change. Change. Alright. Again, if you're not sure about pedaling, check out my pedaling tutorial, linked below. And if you want an extensive, you just want to be a master of the pedal, go ahead and check out my pedaling course, Piano Pedaling Like a Pro. The last thing we played with the left hand was an E minor triad. Okay, so we ended up on G. Now, the bottom notes are going to be the same. The top note is going to be the same, and we just have one note that's different. It's going to be your 2nd finger. Okay, so we still play the E and the G. Now, 2nd finger goes to C sharp, and then the E back on top. And you walk it back the way you came. Okay? Now, 5th finger goes to F sharp. 4th finger to A, 2nd finger to D, 1st finger to F sharp, and then go back the way you came. So you see here we're changing around quite a bit. This is a more harmonically active part of the song. Now 5th finger on G sharp, 4th finger on B, 2nd on E, 1st on G sharp, and go back the way you came. And then 5th finger on A. Now we're back to 3rd finger on D, 2nd on F sharp, 1st on A, and go back the way you came. And then we're almost there, don't worry, it's not that long. Now, 5th finger on A, 4th finger on C sharp, 2nd on G, 1st on A, and then go back the way you came. You got one more chord, It's a D major triad. D, 5th finger, 3rd on F sharp, 2nd on A, 1st on D, and then go back the way you came. So this one is there's a lot happening in this section, okay? And that's why I chose it to be a smaller section. It's not as long as the other ones, I think. Anyway, so I'm gonna play that for you slowly without talking, and you make whatever notes you need to make, and you'll probably need to spend a little more time practicing this section, okay? Because there's not so many repeats. Basically, every time we change, every 2 measures, we're going to like a new position, okay? Which is not what we were doing before in this song. All right, so I'll start in the beginning of, this is measure 51, starting on E, 5th finger. If you're finding it more difficult to play the 4th finger here, you're not alone. This is a weak finger for all of us, but that doesn't mean it has to stay weak, right? There's lots of exercises you can do to strengthen. It's not even so much strengthen, it's like learning how to control that finger. Check out my warm-up exercises. I'm linking below. There are YouTube tutorials. But just know that that's not just you. Everybody has to work on that 4th finger. Okay. Right hand is still holding that long G from before. Now we're going to play 4th finger on B, down to A, and play it twice. Okay. Now pick up, put your 2nd finger on F sharp, 1st on E. Now you move that 2nd finger to G sharp, play your B, 3rd finger, and then come right back the way you came. All right? Now 3rd finger goes to A. We hang out there for a while. Pick up, put your 1st finger on E, 2nd on F sharp. Now we're gonna rock back and forth between G and A like this, 3rd and 4th finger. Okay, like that, just one time though. And then come right back down to F sharp and E, and 2nd finger goes down to D. All right, so I'll play starting on measure 52, starting on that B, and this is how it goes. If you want to know how it's counted, I'll do it that way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this place where I said we're rocking back and forth between the G and the A, that's called a triplet. And if you're looking at the music, you'll see a little slanted 3 on top of those 3/8 notes. I have a triplet video on YouTube. I'm linking below. You can check out what a triplet is. All right, but the way I count it is 1 and 2, 3. All right. Once you've got that, come back. We'll put the hands together. So right hand was holding from before. You're not going to play it again. And now on measure 51, left hand plays the E. Now, hands together. Hold that right hand. Play together. Together. Hold the right hand. Together here. Now, all of these notes are going to be both hands together. Right hand stays here while the left hand plays. Now together. Now we're at that triplet place. So what happens is you play the G and the A, G in the right hand, A in the left hand together, and then you rock back and forth like this. See? Okay, and then together. Right hand holds. Then you have to pick up that right hand because the left hand's going to play that D. All right, I'll play all that without talking. So I'll just say that the second finger was holding the G from before. You're not going to play it again. You're just going to leave it there. If you want to see how these parts fit together, just go look at the performance video, and you can kind of, put the puzzle together visually for yourself. Here we go. When that feels pretty secure, then you add the pedal. Basically, all we're going to do is every time the left hand fifth finger plays, your foot goes up and down. But after, so it's like finger, foot up and down. All right? So I'll play it for you, and just know that I'm changing the pedal every time I play my left hand fifth finger. So I won't even say it, okay? Right hand's holding from before. You had the pedal down from the previous section, so as soon as you play this E, go up, down. So every time the left hand plays, the fifth finger, you change pedal. In the last section, the left hand played this D major triad. So in this section, and we are now on, let's see, what measure are we on? Measure 63. You're going to play the D major chord again, but you're going to leave out that thumb note. You're just going to pick up your hand and then come right back the way you came. All right? The reason you're going to leave it out is because the right hand is going to play that note. It's part of the melody. All right. So again, measure 6. Am I saying that right? Yeah. Measure 63. You do this. Then you pick up and then come back. So you see there's a silent beat there. Now, you play the same D major triad again. This time you put a C on top with your first finger. And then come back the way you came. Then you play that exact thing again. Now, the bottom note is the same. Third finger goes to G, second finger to B, and the top note is D. You come back the way you came. And you play that exactly the same way again. Now we're going to play that other chord we played earlier in measure 65. D, F sharp, A, C, A, F sharp, and then you play it again exactly the same way. And then we go to our E minor triad. We've done this before. 5th finger on E, 4th finger on G, 2nd finger on B, top note is E, and come back the way you came. So there's lots of repetitions in this section. I'll go ahead and play starting on measure 63 without talking, and you'll see that there's one beat that I don't play anything at all. See that? So you're playing every chord 2 times. Alright? Right hand, 2nd finger was on D, and then we had picked it up, so the left hand could play that D. Now we're going to play the same D we played in the last section, but this time with the 1st finger. And we're going to play it again. And then 3rd finger on A. Play that A 2 more times. Now, 2nd finger on G sharp, and back to A. Go up to B, 4th finger, and then back to your A again. Play that B again, and then back to your G. Play the G again, 3rd finger on A, play it 2 more times. Now, 2nd finger on G sharp, back to your A, 5th finger on C, and step all the way down to G. Okay? Pause wherever you need to and practice in small sections. So I'll play that whole thing without counting, just so you can see where the notes move to, starting 1st finger on D. Alright, I'll count it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Left hand starts by itself. Now remember, there was that part where the left hand didn't play for one beat. That's where the right hand's going to play. Then the left hand comes in together. Now the right hand holds together. Hold the right hand together. Hold the right hand together. Hold the right hand together. hold the right hand. Now, you're going to lift the right hand. Together. Left hand keeps going. Together. Left. Together. All of these notes will be hands together. Now, right hand holds. I'll do that without talking. When we add the pedal, we're going to use the same pattern that we had before, which is that every time the left hand fifth finger plays, the pedal goes up and down. So you were holding the pedal from before. As soon as you play that D, you go up, down. Change. Okay, so every time the left hand fifth finger plays. So in the last section, you played that E minor triad, right? You're going to do it again in this section. So right now, here we go. E, G, B, E, and then come back the way you came. Now, we move down to D. We play a D major triad. D, third finger on F sharp, second finger on A, and then the top note is D. Go back the way you came. Now play a B major chord. B, fifth finger, third finger on D sharp, second on F sharp, first on B, and go back the way you came. Now, fifth finger on A, fourth on C, second on E, first on A, and go back the way you came. And you repeat that exactly the same way. Now, this C you're on, you're going to pick up your hand and put your fifth finger on it. Same C. Fourth finger on E, second on A, first on C. Go back the way you came. C sharp, fifth finger. Same E you just played, fourth finger. Second on B flat. First finger on C sharp. And go back the way you came. And back to our D major triad that we had earlier in the section. Fifth finger on D, third on F sharp, second on A, first on D. Go back the way you came. We start the same way, D, F sharp, A, but this time first finger plays C, and then go back the way you came. Alright, I'll play that whole thing so you can see it all together, starting on my E minor triad. Right hand, second finger was on G. In this section, we're going to play that G again, but this time with your first finger. Then second finger on A. Play that A again. Move up to B, third finger. Play that B 2 more times. Now, back to your A and back to B. Fifth finger on D. Go down to C and play it 2 times. All right, let me play that much again. Here we go. All right, here you're going to lift and not play for 1 measure. Then first finger on E twice. Fifth on B and go down to your A. Play it again. All right, now third finger on G, second on F sharp, go back to that G. Fifth finger on B flat, step it down to G, and then play the A. Okay, so I'll play again for measure 88. All right, I'll play that whole thing with counting. So the very first measure of this section, the right hand doesn't play. So you've got 3 beats of silence. 1, 2, 3, then you play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You don't play there. Now 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's put the hands together. Left hand starts with that E minor triad. Here we go. Now, hands together. Hold that right hand down. Now, hands together. Hold the right hand. Together. Together. Hold the right hand. Hold that right hand. Now together. 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 Hold the right hand. Together. All of these notes are together. And now the right hand's going to keep holding while the left hand finishes out this section. Pick up your right hand. Okay, I'm going to play it without talking, and I'll add the pedal. The pedaling pattern is the same as what we did before. Every time the left hand fifth finger plays, you change the pedal. Change means up and down. Okay, so you were holding the pedal from before, and you're going to play the left hand first. Now, this section is almost exactly like section 2. So I'm going to play it for you, just hands together with pedal, and then I'll show you where it gets different from section 2. It's just at the very end. So, playing just like we did in section 2. Here's where it changes. So in section 2, we went to E minor. In this section, right hand's going to go to G and left hand plays a G together like this. Right hand holds, left hand plays D, second finger, then G. Now right hand plays the B with the thumb, and then left hand plays that G again that it just played, and then right back. So the only thing that's different is the very end of the section from section 2, and this is what we do in this section. Okay, so I'll play this section and then you'll see the difference without talking. Now we're in the final section, and this is basically the outro. We've done the song, and now it's just kind of bringing it to a close. So the left hand and the right hand mostly take turns playing. So instead of showing you left hand first, then right hand, I'm going to show you everything at the same time. So left hand just played this, right? It's going to do that again. So G, D, G, right hand plays F sharp, left hand lifts. Then right hand plays B, and then left hand plays G. Okay? From here, right hand is not playing. Left hand goes G again, down low. Now E, second finger, first finger on G. Right hand's gonna play fourth finger on E while the left hand lifts. Right hand second finger on C. Left hand back to that G on the first finger, and the right hand picks up. So let me show you those 4 measures. Right now I'm starting at measure 107. Alright, moving on. Left hand plays that low G again. Now, second finger was on E, it's going to E flat. First finger on F sharp. Right hand was on E, fourth finger before, now it's going to be on E flat. Left hand picks up, right hand, first finger on A, and then left hand back to that F sharp. And then we're going to play what we played at the end of the last section, which is the left hand playing G, D, G, right hand. This time I'm using second finger here on that B. Use whatever works for you. And then back G, D. Alright, so I will play these last 4 measures, starting on measure 111. Okay, almost at the end. So of course you'll want to pause and practice each of these mini sections here. Now the left hand plays B, third finger, first finger on G, second on D. Then back to your B. First finger is now on D, and back to that B. And then G by itself. Now the hands are going to play together. Left hand will play that G again, add the D to it, so like that. And the right hand will play the B that we just played, plus the G on top. You play them all together, and then you play it again. And that's the end. So, again, we're changing fingering. Every time the left hand plays fifth finger, But also, toward the end, the left hand is doing third finger on the bottom note. I'll show you how that works. So I started with the pedal down from the previous section. As soon as I play that fifth finger, I'm going to change the pedal. Change. 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 Now we're going to change here, right there. Change again. Change. Now you're going to hold the pedal until the very end. And then when you're done, you lift your hands and your foot at the same time. I'll play that much without talking, and I'll go slower so you can see how it all fits together. There you go. Do you have requests for other tutorials or even arrangements of other songs or classical pieces? Let me know in the comments. If you want to keep track of all the stuff I'm creating to help you be the pianist you want to be, get on my mailing list. I will send you an email about once a week, and that's about it. No spam. If you'd like some support along the way, I have an awesome adult community on Facebook called Piano Practice Tips with the Piano Keys. It's people like you learning to play the piano, and we support one another and encourage one another and ask questions and things like that. That link is below. Remember, you do have to answer all 4 questions before you are admitted to the group. Keep practicing, have fun, and I will see you soon. Bye!